Hello and welcome. Amanda here from marketing, and I'm joined by Nigel Bradley to run you through an update of the 2020 release of Microsoft Dynamics 365 Sales. Known to some of you as customer engagement and everyone simply knows as CRM. So I'll now hand over to Nigel to get started on the agenda.
Thank you, Amanda. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, and I hope you get at least something out of this that you can take away for your particular business. So what we're going to be looking at, as Amanda said, was around what's new in the 2020 Wave 1 and Wave 2 releases. The dates for those, Wave 1 is from April through to September, and Wave 2 is from October through to March of 2021. So we're going to be covering a lot of the or some of the components that are being released in that particular period, and just have a quick look at our agenda coming up. And what we're going to be focusing on today is not everything within those that whole release. We're focusing on the sales component, as Amanda said. There are many other different components within the release notes, and we'll have a talk about that a little bit later on. But we're going to have a look at some of the newer features in the sales area. We're going to start by looking at some of the advanced forecasting that's available. We're going to have a look at some streamlining of processes and workflows to generate and email documents as PDFs, simplified duplicate detection. We're going to be looking at a new feature called the Kanban views in some of the areas of Dynamics 365. Adding products to opportunities, streamlining how we can do that a little bit easier. And we're going to finally have a look at the industry-specific accelerators that Microsoft have been releasing and focusing on at the moment. So let's go through that agenda and have a look at those components. As I said before, we are working through some of the major components of the releases in Wave 1 and Wave 2 for 2020. We have only scratched the surface with this presentation. Microsoft have a range of different components that are available across the Microsoft platform during this release. And so I encourage you to follow the links if you can get the presentation after this. They will be in the description of the YouTube channel at the end. So if you can grab those release notes, or you can Google them yourself, you can see what else is available within the actual release during those periods. One of the things that Microsoft is focusing on at the moment is a few key words around their sales area and the themes that this Wave 1 and Wave 2 release actually focus on. And the first one that we actually want to focus on is around being or to simplify. And that really focuses on getting things done more easily and to keep the focus on selling. And you'll see that as a bit of a theme throughout this wave, these new components of Dynamics 365. How do we actually simplify processes, simplify functionality to enable salespeople to focus on selling? We're going to be looking at enhanced productivity, leveraging productivity tools to keep the focus on selling. Once again, the focus is on selling. To accelerate, prioritize next best customer, next best actions in order to accelerate our sales process. And finally, to transform, to track the pulse of your business accurately to inform strategic decisions. So being able to really strategize as to how best we can work as a business to really increase those sales and to transform our business. So let's make a start on that agenda and start to have a look at some of these components. We are going to dive into the products for some of them. So you will see as we get into Dynamics 365, you'll see some live demos of that component. Some of them are either not yet released or not ready to be shown yet. So I'll just identify that as we go through. So one of the first components that is being released, and it's in this particular release, it hasn't come out just yet, fully. There are some components in there, is around forecasting. Microsoft and Dynamics 365 have already had a forecasting component. This is a lot more in depth than it ever was before to really enable those salespeople to, or to our sales teams to plan out their forecasting. What does it do? It really empowers organizations to create and manage bottom-up sales forecast processes. So really getting down into the weeds of what are the quotas for our particular salespeople? What are the mechanisms with which we can get there? And how are we then going to measure that? So it really enables those sellers to more effectively manage their pipeline, so to be able to see their pipeline in a different and forecasting way, and also enables those sales managers and leaders to plan their sales team's execution and enable them to meet their forecasts. So I'm not going to be diving into the product for this component, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview as to what this actually will look like in the product. So the forecasting, as I said before, is really around how do we configure our Dynamics 365 to then start to track what our forecasts are for each particular user in the system or each particular seller. So you can start to see here that we have a configuration screen that allows us to get right down into the particular users, start to then outline and to set quotas for what it means for them to achieve their targets. So then we can then start to say, what is the forecast that we actually have, and how can we then use that information to sell better? So as you can see there, one of the outputs of this is around being able to see all of our different opportunities in a different way by pipeline status. So being able to see those ones that are in the pipeline, where we're committed, and where we're what the best case scenario is for those particular components or those particular opportunities. So that allows us to see an output of what is that. But the key thing to show you is around how we actually can see a forecasting dashboard. And that allows us to see for that particular quarter or for that particular period, how each of our salespeople are working towards being able to meet their quotas, and where we need to work on, where we can leverage some extra opportunity to enable them to meet that forecast component. So it's a really great tool to be able to give you a whole range of information there for each of those forecast users. So that's one area that Microsoft is actually focused on. Another new component within Dynamics 365 is, I suppose, has been one of the components that users have requested time and time again, and Microsoft have listened and put that into the product. This enables users to be able to use the Word templates that they upload into Dynamics 365 and at the click of a button, generate a PDF and store it onto SharePoint. We'll have a look at this, but it also enables you to not just create a PDF and store it, but also to email that quite easily without any process, any manual process to the user, to the contact of that particular opportunity. So two great new tools within Dynamics 365 in the sales area around PDF creation and emailing. So this is enabled, and you can see that screen there, the two buttons up the top, create PDF and email as PDF. We'll get in and have a look at that in a moment. But this is available on accounts, contacts, leads, opportunities, quotes, orders and invoices. All of those key sales entities or activities, we can create or enable that for these particular areas. So it isn't out of the box. If you're looking for it on your existing system, it needs to be enabled, and the guides will actually show you how that can work, and you can contact MicroChannel for that as well. Right, let's just jump into the application and have a quick look at that. And I'm just going to jump into Dynamics 365, and you will be able to see my screen there of Dynamics 365. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into a quote that we actually have sitting in here. And I've got somebody interested in our services. And we will see that we actually have some products on there. So we're ready to actually get this sent to the customer. So we can automatically generate that document, click Create PDF. Now to set this up, I obviously need Word templates that are there. So these are similar to what would be doing manually to create a Word template and to upload those templates and to get them all set up for our customers or for yourselves. So those Word templates need to be available, but then we just create that as a PDF. So if I create that as a PDF, it says it's ready for me. Do I want to save it to SharePoint? And I can easily save that to SharePoint in Dynamics 365. So if I quickly go into the Documents area within Dynamics 365, I will see that available in the SharePoint component. I can quickly open that up and see the PDF version of my document. That's all well and good to be able to PDF a document and store it onto SharePoint, but quite often we actually want to send that to the actual customer themselves. So the other option, or the other component of this, is being able to email this as a PDF. So clicking on that button, choosing the same component there, I'm presented with a screen that enables me to compose an email preset with the attachment already there set for the PDF document that's created. A nice little thing that Microsoft is adding within this is some engagement activities that I can then also do. So rather than just send this, I might want to set myself a reminder to follow up on this email. So I can set a reminder straight away and then send that email. So it's prompting me to actually initiate some activities after this particular email send. I can compose that, or I can use a template that I've already got to an email template. But once again, that new feature of being able to generate a PDF and create that and share it in SharePoint, and also to email that to our customers. Nice handy little feature in the new version. So let's just jump back into Dynamics, into our presentation. The other component, one other component which is nice for a lot of our users in Dynamics 365 is a much simplified duplicate detection regime or component. Quite often you set up a duplicate detection rule and you go through the process and you enter a contact or an account and you're presented with a screen which you're not really sure what that information actually means. Microsoft have simplified that a little bit for us and for the users to enable us to really see the information that's pertinent on the screen when we're doing those processes. This is not released just yet. This will be released in October, but it enables you to really maintain that data hygiene, or that level of data hygiene that you would expect within your business. So users can view more information on the screen now when they're doing duplicate detection to contextually help them determine why a record is being flagged as a duplicate. And it also enables users to merge records in the same process. So we've got a much more consolidated duplicate detection screen there that allows us to see the appropriate information and to also action what we can do there. Nice little feature there just to tidy up something that is really important for a lot of particular businesses. Moving on, one of the key things that is being released from a sales perspective and is in production and available now is around adding products to opportunities. If you work with opportunities and you work with products and add those into a particular opportunity, you might have struggled with being able to add those products one at a time, go into a new screen, select the product, put a quantity in, save it, start the process again. Microsoft have tidied that up completely for you. So all organizations, there is a flag that you need to turn on to enable this in the app settings, but it enables you, all users, to simplify the experience to allow easy addition of products to opportunities. So it allows you to do a number of different things. It allows you to look up products directly from the catalog in one screen. It allows you to search them as well. It allows you to explore product details inline. It allows you to easily add multiple products at the one time, which I think is a key time saver in this new process. And it also allows you to create write-in products more easily. It's quite, prior to this, it was quite a cumbersome activity or process to actually add in a write-in product where available. So you can see in the next screen there that, and we'll jump into the product in a moment and have a look at this, but being able to see when I'm adding in products into an opportunity, being able to see all of the items that are available in that price list, their price, and then being able to select a quantity and add those in. Similarly, I can do a lot more in terms of being able to look up existing products within that price list and do the same type of item. So let's jump into the application and have a look at that again. I'm just going to jump back into where I was. Let's just jump into a particular opportunity here. I'm going to jump into this new op here that we actually have for this particular organization of Volcom traders. Let's just jump into those particular products. We have a number of different products already there. Let's just get rid of those so that we've actually got it nice and clean. And so now our opportunity has no particular products in there. And if I click on the Add Products button, I now am presented with all of the items that are in my price list for this particular organization. And I can now easily search for a product, be able to filter that, and to automatically be able to add in different quantities as I need to. I can also do a write-in product. So if I'm adding something that's not in the price book and I want to add extra components in there, I can add those into the actual in there as well. So now I'm able to present all of that information quite easily and to add those products very easily in one screen. Okay, moving on. The next component that is a nice new feature within Dynamics 365 is around Kanban visualization. Some of you might be familiar with Kanban visualization from other products, but it enables you really to see those items in a visual sense based on swim lanes. So it might be based on the status of an item, it may be based on the stage with which it's actually at a process. Microsoft have actually added this in a limited sense, into opportunities and activities. So you can allow this, it's not out of the box, turned on out of the box, you've actually got to enable these components. But this is available from Microsoft against opportunities and activities. And you can see an example there with those Kanban views. It allows you to see those in, as I said, in that swim lane component, and also to pick up and drag and move those components from one swim lane to the other, and to be able to then update that information. Building on that, MicroChannel have also developed a Kanban visualization that works from that Microsoft position of having those available, but it also is not as limited as Microsoft's. So where Microsoft's Kanban visualization is limited to opportunities and activities, MicroChannels is across the board. So you could put Kanban views on leads, a range of different components. And you can also configure in the MicroChannel version what information you actually see on the cards. So you can see there I've got my contact account, estimated revenue, and estimated close date. I can actually change the data that I'm actually seeing on that using the MicroChannel version. So if you would like to explore that, you can contact your MicroChannel account manager or through us and be able to have that shown to you as well. But the MicroChannel version and the Microsoft version, in essence, do the same thing, just different areas of complexity. So let's go in and have a quick look at that. I'm just going to jump into a site here. Let's just jump into the opportunities area. Typically, what you would see when you jump into an opportunities area is you are presented with a list of opportunities, whether it be the open opportunities, or my opportunities, or all opportunities, but you're seeing it as a list. So that's been standard for quite some time with Dynamics 365. With the new feature enabled, you can actually view that or show that as different components. I've actually got two turned on here. I can see it as a calendar control as well as also as a Kanban. I'm going to actually view that as a Kanban. And what you will see there is that Kanban view based on the business process flow that I actually have associated with my opportunities. So those 4 stages that you can see as an out-of-the-box business process flow: qualify, develop, propose, and close. And I can see each of those opportunities represented by a card on the Kanban view. If I so choose, I can pick up and drag and move one from one area to the other. And what it will actually prompt me to do, it'll open up a window that will ask me to confirm that and basically change the status of that particular record. So it's not an automated component. If I click and drag, I may need to do some other business processes to do that. All I'm doing is prompting that process. And as you can see here, it's asking me to move it from develop to propose. The other option that you have there is to view it as a status component. So status is really open, won, or lost, and I can view those as those components as with those tiles on the screen as well. The other component which you saw available there is around a calendar control. So you can base this off different components. So I've got everything sitting there ready for me for today. But this is really handy when you're starting to look at activities. What activities do I have in a calendar view then? So it just enables you to see those activities in a different visualization than just a list based on dates. I can now start to see that as a calendar. Okay, let's just jump back out of there and we'll jump back into our presentation. And the last one that I wanted to focus on today as part of the new features of Wave 1 and Wave 2 for 2020 is around industry accelerators. Microsoft are experts in creating modular-based applications or horizontal applications that meet certain types of functionality. So therefore, they have a sales app, they have a customer service app. What we haven't done from Microsoft, or what we haven't seen from Microsoft for many years, is around vertical apps for industries based on those or built into those the platform that sales and customer service is built onto. What they have started to do is bring together some industry-specific accelerators that they may have worked on quite some time ago, and really started to package them up in a much easier and more accessible way for prospects and customers. So you can see on the screen here that over and above the standard D365 licensing modules, Microsoft now have a range of industry-specific accelerators provide to that base model for your D365 implementation. So you can see there we've got an automotive one, which really enables those people in that particular industry to look at their fleet, do test drives, to negotiate contracts, etc., to manage that automotive business. From an education perspective, tracking our students, our courses, etc. From financial services, looking at our the bank's customers and the services that they provide and the accounts that those contacts might have. From a health perspective, looking at the contact as a patient and services, once again, that they are being provided with, and care plans that they are being provided with to manage that from a health perspective. We've also got Microsoft have also got a manufacturing accelerator, a media communications one, and also a not-for-profit one, which is really handy for those folks who are managing donations and memberships. These are not one-stop shops. So if I run an automotive business, I cannot just turn on that automotive app and it functions 100% for me. Just like for any organization who turns on Dynamics 365 sales, there's always got to be some tinkering around the edge. But what it does provide is a little bit more of a specialized industry platform that allows organizations in those industries to have a starting platform to work from. So that allows us as MicroChannel to use those particular industry accelerators for some of our organizations to give them a leg up with their implementation. Just to give you a quick overview of some of those, as you can see there, I've just jumped back into that sales hub that I was in before. If I look at the apps that are available, some of these might be familiar to you. I've got my sales app, I've got my field service or customer service app, but in here I've also got my auto hub, and this is the basis of that automotive accelerator. And you can see here that I can track my leads, test drives, have a looking at trade-ins and my deals that I'm doing, and be able to track my fleet. Great little tool to start an automotive business and to get them underway. This all goes to show the power of the platform, of the Power Apps platform. And we talked in the last presentation that we had for these webinars around the Power Platform and being able to create industry-specific apps. This is Microsoft's attempt at being able to have some of those more readily available. Another one that's in there that I'll just show you very quickly is around higher ed or K-12 education, being able to track our students, our courses, our internships and grants, and it just gives us a basis to work from an educational perspective. Once again, the other components, they are just, they're not fully turnkey solutions, but they do provide that basis of an industry-specific accelerator to start the journey to Dynamics 365. All of these are available on the Microsoft app source that allows anybody to download these and to have a look at these and to run them up. So if you wanted to have a trial of some of those, you can have a look at those. Just flick back into our presentation, and I just wanted to, that was our last component that I really wanted to show you today. But as I said right up front, this is not, that's not the sum total of changes for Dynamics 365 for this whole wave, or indeed wave 2 as well. There is many more things. So under customer service, under marketing, under the Power Platform, there is a range of different new functionality and changes that that might be applicable for you. I've just picked out a handful that I think are nice to haves, but if you would like to have a look at those, please, I encourage you to grab those release notes for each of those Wave 1 and Wave 2, and to see what those new features are that might actually meet your business's needs a little bit better, and just give you that edge to be able to simplify, to transform, etc.